These are all our thoughts and opinions based on information out in the public domain. Please do your own research, and this is for fun only. I've received so many emails about people saying, "Oh, Siri looks sad." You can ask Dinah. She has seen videos of this sad puppy. Don't be fooled by her. She's like Megan. She's posing for the cameras. She's actually living hell, but I love her. I love her. So yes, these are all our thoughts and opinions based on info out in the public domain. Right, City? Right, City? We have to say this, otherwise we get canceled. And we don't want to get canceled, right, City? Do we want to get canceled? No, we don't want to get canceled. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna put her down because don't be fooled. This is a proper shirt, so don't attack me about, "Oh, you're wearing a bra." It's not. It's a shirt. Okay, so you go play with your little bone. So anyways, do you remember when I've told you many times that I work with embassies and I work with VIPs and I work with there's a special force of police. If you follow me, you know that I've been talking about this at least 2 or 3 times. That I worked in with taking care of security for VIPs and making all kinds of arrangements and supervising a bunch of other stuff, right? I've always told you also that there's a special task force within the police for VIPs and royals. See, I told you. She's like Megan. She wants to be on camera. So what happens is that whenever this task force is only assigned for heads of states, diplomats, or people like royals representing when they come on a visit representing somebody. Never, ever for celebrities or anything like that. What happens is, for example, if you have a celebrity, let's say Elton John wants to come to, I don't know, let's say Elton John wants to come to Nicaragua. His security task force, they do their own reconnaissance work and they contact the local police. The local police is informed. If there's any assistance, they, of course, they will provide it, because it's so funny that they say that the Dutch police is in charge of Prince Harry's and Meghan's security. Whenever you go visiting any country, the police where you go, if anything happens to you there, they will look after you. You go to the local police in the country you're in, and they will help you out. That's it. So, if indeed Harry and Meghan are being allowed, and I go by the Daily Mail article, which could have been written by Harry and Meghan, I don't know, because they want to get themselves a VVIP. The VVIP is not really even a status, is a VIP or IPP, but they want to do it VVIP. VVIP very rarely is given for people with higher spending power or extremely high ranking, but they usually don't use it because it's VIP or IPP, right? So I guess that the reason why they're putting the VVIP thing out is because they feel bad that nobody in the royal family in the Netherlands are going to see them. They're going to be greeted by them. And I am just curious, like all of you, whether or not they are going to get police escort. From what I read in that article, they're not. What they're going to get is apparently their police or the protection team has given the phone numbers to contact the diplomatic police or the you know what we call the task force for royals and diplomats, or for IPPs, which, if true, it is an abuse, because that task force is only assigned for people, for example, like the Duchess of Cambridge, or for example Princess Royal when she went to Australia representing the Queen, for certain types of diplomats, you know, for all diplomats. We used to people get that, you know, like the people in the security, they have that phone number that, you know, you call and they say, you know what, this happened to a diplomat and so, you know, and it is reported to. Why is that task force special? I'll tell you why. Because, for example, if it happens to a diplomat, this task force is called, and then this task force has to report this incident to the local Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and then the local Ministry of Foreign Affairs reports it to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where let's say the diplomat or the head of state happened. Everything, it is a protocol. Let me give you an example. And I can talk about this. I'm not going to say the name, but it happened in Nicaragua. The Norwegian ambassador, I found out, I wasn't working at the Norwegian embassy, but this was all very common knowledge. And one of the vacations I came, I went to the police station, and they knew me because I worked with them and stuff like that. And then they said, "Did you hear about the Norwegian ambassador?" I'm like, what happened? And they said he got stabbed in the leg while in the car. And I'm like, holy crap, how did that happen? Because the first thing I thought, first of all, he has a driver. So did they break through his window? Somebody broke through the window of the very, very secure car and managed to stab him. And then I asked where it was and the time it was. And it was at around 1:30 a.m. in a very, very well-known prostitution place. So everything fell into place. And then she told me that she had been deeply embarrassed because what happened is that when they showed up, apparently the ambassador tried to take the very, very underage prostitute from the spot where she was to another spot. And she got scared because he looked creepy. So when he tried to force her to stay in the car by locking the door, she grabbed the first thing that she could find, which was a pen, and she stabbed him in the leg in order to get out. Now, he called the security person in charge at the embassy, who was a local woman. And of course, the local woman followed protocol, which is to contact the task force assigned to diplomats, IPPs, and VIPs, and diplomats, blah, blah. But of course, when the police got there, they didn't know he spoke Spanish. So they started saying that, what a creep he was and all kinds of things. And then the guy turned and spoke in perfect Spanish, saying that, he never meant any harm to the young lady. He just didn't want to stay there with that very, very underage prostitute. So what happened is that because of his rank, and this is a third world country, and because Norway was one of the biggest donating countries for Nicaragua, the incident was not reported because he ordered all the local staff at the embassy not to report it, and he ordered. That's how they feel. He told the police that he didn't want this reported back to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Nicaragua, and that he didn't want the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Nicaragua to report it back to Norway. The event was found out anyways. The guy was rewarded by Norway by being transferred to another and better embassy in Cuba. So, but what I'm trying to get at this is that police, there are protocols in place. So I don't understand why Harry and Meghan get to use that task force, because that task force is there for specific reasons, and they're very specific protocols. Harry's going on a private for-profit business as a private individual, as a celebrity, as a minor celebrity of some sorts, to a country. This is no different at all than Elton John doing a concert or going to visit, I don't know, whatever, because he's not even benefiting Invictus Games. I don't care what people say. He's not benefiting Invictus Games or the veterans. He's exploiting them for profit. And I know many of you have come at me because I say shame on those veterans. Yes, shame on them, because they're lending themselves to be exploited and used for pennies. Instead of them doing their own thing, they have so much power. They could have asked for Prince William to take over it. Because let's face it, this is not an original idea from Harry. And it was financed by the Royal Foundation. And who came to the aid when Harry dumped him? It was Prince William, with Royal Foundation's money of almost $1 million, who kept the Invictus Foundation going. Again, people enabling Harry and Meghan Markle. I know many of you don't understand, and you think I'm anti-royal and anti-blah, blah, blah. But no, It's like for people who are pro democracy, you call out people who are not. Or would you be praising Putin? Of course not. You would not. If you're somebody, if you're if you believe in justice and fairness, you don't praise, or you don't keep quiet about things that are happening. And why is this happening with Harry and Meghan? It's happening for the following reasons. They are still on the royal website, the British monarchy's website, as representing the Queen, in spite of the fact that they're no longer working royals. They don't get to use the HRH. They don't represent the Queen. They do not live in the United Kingdom. They're not sharing their time. Those two children, the ghost children, do not meet the legal requirements in order to be included in the line of succession. But they're still there. The Queen Commonwealth Trust, they're no longer on the landing page of the Queen's Commonwealth Trust website, but they're still there. I was going through there yesterday with P. Dinah. They're still there. They're still being endorsed, and Harry's still getting money. So now he's going to the Netherlands. And if what that article at the Daily Mail says is correct, that they are going to be given access to the phone numbers, and they're going to be liaising with the task force for use for diplomats and VIPs, shame on them. The local police force should be capable enough to handle them, because that police task force only reports, if something happens, what are they going to go back to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and say what? That a celebrity so and so? Of course not. Of course not. Because Harry is not representing anybody, and least of all Meghan. They're not VIPs. They're NIP. They're non-important people at all. They are grifters. They are nobodies. I mean, if anything happens to Harry and Meghan, these are like two people who are going for private business, very televised, in another country. That's all there is. This is just like anybody else filming a documentary, or anybody. They all have their own security. They all have their own protocols, and their security team should be handling that. Another thing that I read, because I got so many emails from you guys, is that, they went through this hostile thing. I'm sure that their security team must have taught them how to handle hostile situations, but it should be their security team. It shouldn't be the Netherlands, and they shouldn't be wasting their resources of that task force on people like Harry and Meghan Markle, because they're setting a very, very bad precedent. Because that task force was specifically created for IPPs and diplomats and people, heads of states and governments. That's it. So if they're doing that, they are giving them, if it's true, of course, because I really think that article was written by Harry and Meghan Markle. I mean, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I think that's the case, but I may be talking out of my butt. I don't know. So yeah, I got the reason why I'm doing this. Well, I always do videos for you guys, but it's because so many people have sent me, did you see, Paula, that they got the VVIP? The VVIP doesn't really exist. Harry and Meghan don't have a lot of high earning power other than better up. Harry has made millions from the endorsement of the Queen's Commonwealth Trust. He has made millions out of that. And I don't know if that's a way for the royal family to funnel money through him. I know what I'm going to say sounds even more terrible, but I sure as hell hope that Prince William did not give that almost $1 million to Invictus Foundation so they can pay that fee to Harry. To finance Harry's trip, because guess who's paying for that? Not only Netflix. Invictus Foundation is also paying for their expenses. Why is Meghan even going there? The whole point of having a charity is to minimize the expenses in order to maximize the money, the funds used towards the charity. So why is Meghan going there? She's not part of it. She's a nobody. She has always been a nobody, and she will always continue to be a nobody. Leave me your thoughts and comments. Thank you for donating for the school. I really appreciate it. All of you asked me not to mention you by name. So thank you so much. You have no idea how much it's helping. How you can help is in the description of the video through the PayPal account. Please like, share, and subscribe. But what do you guys think? This is an abuse of, if true, listen to me, if true, this is an abuse of the task force set up for VIPs, which are diplomats and heads of states and government people, and IPPs. And it shouldn't be wasted on that, and it sets a very bad precedent. I really think that's an article that Meghan wrote just to feel important. But that's just my thoughts and opinions. What do you guys think? Please leave me your comments.